Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel, and today I'm going to be reviewing Amphibia Season 1 Episode 14A called Snow Day, and later today I'm going to be doing, Episode 14, the second half, Episode 14B called Cracking Mrs. Croaker. And also I wanted to say, please, subscribe to my channel. Alright, let's get started with the video. Okay, so Snow Day. We start with Anne, Hop Hop, and Polly. Anne, is making omelets. And so Polly's like, what do you call these again? And she says, and it's like, omelets, really a big hit in my world. And Hop Hop's like, oh, let's see. And he takes a bite and he's like, holy crab apples! Like, this is like, up until now I've been eating garbage, which is funny because in Hop Luck, his recipes were basically garbage. So that was like a nice callback, sort of. And then Sprig is running down the stairs. He trips and he's like, ah! And he's like yelling, and Sprig's like, oh, those look good. And Hop Hop's like, omelets, and she's like, huh? And he's like yelling, and Sprig, what's going on? And Sprig's like, it's happening. And Hop Hop squishes, Hop Hop gets his attention. It's like, are you sure it's happening? And he's like, dead sure. And it's like, is this like we have to go now type of thing, or can we sit and wait? It's like because I have my omelets. It's like, take it to go, Anne, because we gotta sound the alarm. Okay, so you separate the flavors, make sure it doesn't get soggy, and you put it in different bowls. And it's like, come on, Anne, okay, sheesh. And Sprig, I mean, they're like, not like really frogs like on Earth, so we don't know all their like natural abilities. So Sprig has this sort of alarm power where he makes an alarm. It sounds unnatural, but Sprig's on Hop Hop's shoulders, and Anne is carrying Polly, and they're going over like a river and stuff, jumping over rocks and going to the town square, and everyone gathers into the town, the center of town with the statue. It's like, what's going on? And then Sprig depowers the alarm, and Hop Hop's tired because Sprig is a kid. Hop Hop's pretty old, and then so like, what's going on? And Sprig's like, everyone, this is the third day in a row where the temperature goes beneath the froth line, which means Hybrid Day is near us. And it ends like, Hybrid Day? It's like, and Hop Hop explains like, yep, like one day a year, all the townspeople freeze into place, because that's actually a true thing. And it's kind of like a callback to Blood, Sweat, and Tears, where when Anne's basement flooded, and Sprig and Anne kept the open, closing the door, and Sprig froze, like not really frozen in a place, but like it was cold enough for him like to turn blue. So I thought it was like kind of like a nice callback sort of to that. And then we freeze in place, and once we melt the next day, we feel the like rejuvenated, and very like agile and stuff. And Anne's like, oh, that's pretty cool. And Hop Hop's like no, it isn't, because once a year when this happens, like every time this happens, one townsperson disappears, never to be seen again. And it's like, there's a dark turn. And Polly's like, this is serious, Anne, look around you. And then, have Wally telling this person, oh, possible goodbye, Wally. And then, Ivy's like, oh, possible goodbye, Mom. And, Ivy's like, possible goodbye, Sugar. And Mrs. Croaker's like, good possible goodbye, Archie, like her tarantula. And then he, Archie makes like a tarantula noise. And, Mary Toad's like, oh, possible goodbye, Toadie. And, Hop Hop's like, oh, possible goodbye, Sprig. And Sprig's a possible goodbye, Hop Hop. And, Polly's like, possible goodbye, family. And Hop Hop's like, and of course, Anne. And like, stops there. It's like, not so fast. And, Polly's like, harsh. And Hop Hop's like, you're spitting on tradition here, Anne. And he's like, no, no one's gonna disappear because this year you got me. And then I was like, huh? And he's like, I'm warm blooded, you guys. And Sprig's like, that's gross, and it's like, no, like since I'm warm blooded, I won't freeze. I don't hibernate. And this year, no one will disappear this year. Like I'll be a protector. And I was like, yeah, and like, and then Sprig's like, you gone from town beast to town protector. I'm really in for that narrative, which is a nice callback to Anne or Beast when everyone's like treating her like a monster, especially like a callback to Breakout Star when everyone like hated her until she got those pimples and she like had like ruby red warts kind of. So then nice callback to that when people thought she was like a monster and stuff. And also nice callback to Toe Tax when they didn't call her a monster at that point, but called her like Scarecrow and was making fun of her. So people sort of respect Anne now. So I thought that was a pretty good progression they say to it. And Hop Pop's like, all right, Dan's agreed. All of us come back here for tonight so Anne can watch all of us. And then and Ivy's like, thank goodness, Anne. And Hop Pop's like, are you sure about this, Anne? Watching the whole town is like not gonna be easy. And it's like, don't worry, you guys. I mean, I feel like everything that I did, like, it's been leading up to this moment. Like, it's like, well, I forgot what she said, but yeah, I guess it doesn't matter. Like, what was it? Like, oh wait, it was faith or karma, faith mar or something. And it's like, those are both terrible, but you guys know what I mean. And then and she said, "Hey, have you ever felt like that, guys? And Polly, Sprig, and Hop Hop all frozen into place, and their faces are all weird because they were talking to her. And then it answered, "Oh my God, hibernate early." And then she sees like a tiny snowflake, and she said, "Oh, this isn't good." And then a whole bunch of snow fell on her, and she said, "Oh, the town is all over the place." And he said, "This is gonna take forever." And I think she picked up Sprague and said, "Oh wow, this is pretty late." So she got the last, like one or two, no, she got the last person in the town, brought him to the town circle, and she actually has a beanie and like her school jacket, like her like middle school like jacket, and it has like the crest of her school. So I thought that was pretty nice. And I think she had mittens on also, but she still has her one shoe, which is funny. And she looks pretty cute, and it's like, all right, I got everyone here, and she's like a town protector, yeah, but she dabbed, which I'm not a fan of, so I'm taking off a point. It's a 95 right now. I didn't like it. And she is laying, she's laying around watching everyone like do, like being bored. More snow is falling. It looks pretty nice. And she's like, oh, I'm bored. Yeah, I'm gonna thaw someone out. And he's like, oh, eeny, meeny, miny, Sprague. And then she's like, oh, thaw, Sprague, thaw. Like, whew. And Sprague broke out ice. Frogs need to hibernate. They need to be frozen in place, and they're gonna thaw like in the morning. So I know Anne's bored and everything, but thawing out Sprig is not just one, I don't think even Sprig wanted to be thawed out, like, and also it's nature. So I don't know. I didn't like how Anne like sort of disrupted nature. So it's a 90% right now. Like, come on, Anne. And I thought it was funny that Sprig is all loopy and stuff, but I didn't like how Anne did it. But Sprig's really funny. And he's like, oh, like, what's going on? And then Anne's like, oh, Sprig, like, thank goodness, I was really bored. And are you okay, dude? And he's like, eyes awake, yes. And she's like, yeah. And let's thaw out the others. And she's like, the pan that the ice was in so she can melt it, like, fell on him. And then, Anne's like, maybe we should let the rest, like, sleep. You frogs don't seem to do well in the cold. And he's like, why'd you say that? He's messing around in the water. He's all water angels. And Anne's like, well, since you're already awake, why don't we have fun? We had the whole town to ourselves. And Sprig's like, let's do it. And he fell in the water again. And then she bundled up Sprig with like a jacket and like a beanie and a scarf, and he's like, oh, Sprig, catch, like, to catch a snowball in his face, and he's like, ah, caught it. And I didn't like this part either because you're messing around with like the townspeople, because they took Wally and Mrs. Croaker as oh, Mrs. Croaker, I never knew how marriageable you are, and they did have Mrs. Croaker's body. He's like, oh, get some sugar, Wally, like, and they're taking pictures. It's funny, but you didn't get their consent. It's wrong. So it's 85. But that was like my final complaint in the episode. Just Anne dabbing, and thawing out Sprig, and them messing up with like the townspeople and stuff. Those were my only complaints. And they're even riding them like snowboards. It's funny, but and they're even using some of them as bowling pins and stuff. And then they tied it together like a robot or something. It's look at Sprig, it's beautiful. No, don't crush mommy. And they keep on taking pictures and stuff. And then Anne finally being responsible. Finally, it's like, all right, we had our fun, but now it's time for more protector duty. And and then she's like, oh, like, Stumpy, check, Ivy, check, Hop checked, Polly, check, and it was like, wait, Polly? And like, and she's like, no, like, Polly's gone, like, what type of protector am I? I'm glad Anne is feeling bad for this, because, yeah, while you were goofing off, Polly got taken, and that's like your little sister, sort of, so... yeah. And Sprig's being funny. He's like, oh, there's something wrong with Polly? And she's like, yes, Sprig, she's gone. Come on, we need to get her back. And then Sprig's like, all right, something wrong with Polly? And, Sprig's like climbing on trees and stuff. He's like, oh, I never tried in snow before. It's hard. And then, he's trying to get a better view, which is cool. And he's like, oh, hey, like, who wants a nap? And he's starting to sleep. And catches him. Is it, don't worry, Sprig, you can go back to hibernating once we find Polly, which is good because frogs need to sleep. It's like, Sprig not gonna get any sleep now. And then he's like, Polly? I smell Polly. Polly's in that creepy cave. And she's like, oh, of course it is. I mean, of course she is. And the cave had like ice on this that looks like teeth and stuff, which is pretty cool. And they go in, and and it's like, as much of the time as I spent here, I'm never gonna get used to all the bones just lying around. And then and the end's like, Polly, and Sprig's like, how did she get up there? And then before, like, they see, and Sprig's like, oh, is she magic? And then this like big monster thing is like in the snow, like circling them, and then it comes out in this giant weasel, which looks pretty cool. And then Sprig's like, maybe we can ask this lady, excuse me, miss, and obviously say Sprig, because this thing is the one who's been taking the frogs and killing them. Well, what else would she be doing them for? And there's also bones lying around, so And he's like, oh, that's the thing that's been taking the frogs? Like, I'll distract it. You go get Polly. And Sprig's like, okay, wait, do you mean me? And she's like, uh-huh. And he's like, okay. He gives him the thumbs up. I mean, he gives her the thumbs up. He uses his tongue to get up to Polly. And he's like, Polly, stop dancing around. I'm trying to save you. And the weasel, being smart, using her tactics and using the snow. It's like in the snow and doesn't know which way she's gonna go, and then she pops out and she tries to block it, and basically she's trying to bite her, attack her, and he tries it again and blocks her, and then the weasel sees Sprig, and she jumps like right in front of him, like where Polly is, and he's like, oh, Pointy, and touching like her teeth, and it's like, hey, you big furball, like, why don't you come down here, like, and then she hears noises behind like a barrier, and then and it was like the cutest babies ever. I thought it was so cute, and then she's like, oh, like, oh, it's so cute, and the mother obviously sees Anne with the babies and goes to protect her children, and then Anne's like, no way, oh, You didn't take Polly for your own reasons. You took her to feed your babies. But if we take her, you'll all starve. And which I'm kind of glad we showed that moral dilemma where if we leave Polly with her, she'll be eaten. And she's like your sister. Hop Hop and Sprig will be upset. The whole town will be upset. Like, this, and you'll be upset. It's not good. But if we do take Polly, these things are gonna starve because I guess it like savors like one frog a year, and if we take that one frog, it's gonna disrupt probably the ecosystem and stuff and the natural order of things. So what are you gonna do? And I'm like thinking to myself the first time I was watching, what's Anne gonna do here? Because the, if you do like one or the other, something bad is probably gonna happen. So like but I didn't remember all the omelets, and then she has to like, oh, I got an idea. And then like, all right, I need to put this with this. And say, oh, please work. And then she's like, oh, okay, and she takes it. And then Anne's like, oh, I guess the power of omelets is universal. And she helps Sprig to get Polly off, and they're making their way, and the mother's obviously feeding the babies, which is actually nice callback to Hop Popular, where Hop Pop had those gigantic worms and it chewed in his mouth and had the baby vultures feed out of his mouth, and Sprig said, oh, that's how he fed us when we were babies. And nice callback to that, where the mother has like babies can't chew it for themselves, the mother chews the omelet and feeds it to the baby. So I thought that was like kind of nice callback to that. I'm making all the callbacks. And the mother does like and like yeah, and then that's a protector. And Sprig's like, my face feels squishy. And it's like, oh man, I really shouldn't have thawed you out. Thank you. And she did a kickflip. Okay. And then they put Polly back with the others. And it's the next morning, so Anne's back in her school uniform, and Sprig is back to his like goggles and his regular black pants and his jacket, and and then Sprig and it's like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and Sprig's like, thaw, baby, thaw, and everyone's like yeehaw, yeah, we're all frozen, and I was like, well, we're all here, and it's like and Hop Hop's like, we made it through the freeze. And yeah, what was it, Wally? Like, free cheers for Anne! Like, the greatest town protector there is! And a hip hip hooray! Hip hip hooray! And it's like, everyone stop. I was a terrible town protector, you guys. I slacked off when I should have been watching you. I unfroze Sprig when I was bored. And Sprig's still a little bit jacked up. He's fine, but he even said, I'm fine. And it's like, what's worse? Polly almost got eaten by a weasel. And Pa's like, what? And Anne's like, I know, town protector. I'm just an irresponsible kid. I'm glad Anne fessed up, because what I really hated about Anne is that she lied and she shoplifted. I really disliked Anne from like the beginning and stuff. So I'm really glad she's growing from that. Like, thank goodness. And like and Hop Hop's like, Anne, you owning up to your mistake makes you more responsible than you think. And it's like, huh? Because if you haven't said anything, none of us would have known what happened. And you fessing up, it proves that we can depend on you. And everyone's like, yep, that's true. And like, and it's like, oh, thanks guys. And Sprig's like, hey, we want to check out these funny photos we took. And it's like, Sprig, no. And Myrtle's like, oh, that's my body. And and Hop Hop's like, did you use our bodies as bowling pins? And it's like, and then episode just ends. Just have the episode. Okay, overall, it was a great episode. 85%. I didn't really like the Anne dabbing and unfrozen Sprig, and and just using like the townspeople like as bowling pins and sleds and stuff. Yeah, I didn't really like those moments, but you know what? 85% is still a great episode. For the last 2 episodes, it's been kind of like a 80-85%, and the next one is like a 90 or 95%. So I wonder what Cracking Mrs. Croker is gonna be. Is it gonna be the same thing from the last 2 episodes? Maybe. But anyway, so this is B plus 85%. Everyone, don't forget to subscribe to our channel, hit the notification bell, give me a big thumbs up, leave a comment down below, and I'll see you guys later today for cracking Mrs. Croaker. Alright, bye.